Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class, in this chapter, that is structure of atom, we were talking about the model of atom, the different models, including Thomson's, including Rutherford model of atom, as well as how Niels Bohr has explained the drawback of Rutherford model of atom. Rutherford model of atom drawback was he does not explain about the stability of the atom, which was later explained by Niels Bohr. Here he explained that every electron is actually revolving around a certain discrete orbit, and these discrete orbits are having their own energy level. So he said that if the electron is moving in a certain energy shell, their energy is fixed there, so it is very easy for the electrons to revolve around it, and there will be no loss of energy will occur while electron is moving, and ultimately they do not collapse. Let me write here the few points which was included by Niels Bohr students. So the first thing is said about energy level or energy shell. So the first thing was, that is, the maximum number of electron accommodated by any shell is equals to 2n square. The maximum number of electrons accommodated by it is represented by 2n square. You know what is the n here? N is actually the orbit number, that is n. So what is n? N is equals to number of orbit. We can say orbit number. Instead of number of orbit, it is orbit number. And for the students, we have shown that if it is KL, MN, so K is the number one orbit. So how many electrons will be accommodated by it? It will be equals to 2 into 1 square, that is equal to 2. While in case of a L shell, how many electrons are there? It is 2. What is that orbit number? That is 2. So the number of electrons, maximum number of electrons accommodated by L shell, it will be 2 into 2 square, that is 2 into 2 4, 4 into 2 8. While in case of a M shell, 2 into 3 square, that is equals to 18, and 2 into 4 square, that is equals to 32. So this is the maximum number of electrons accommodated by shell, KLMN shell, by the orbits. Now you see here, what is the second thing explained or given by the Niels Bohr. So the second thing, that although K shell is having the 2 electrons, L having 8, M is having 18. Although it is showing that it is having 18 electrons, but the maximum number of electrons accommodated by any of the shell, that is always equals to 8 electrons. Understood? It means it doesn't matter that we can say that it is having the maximum number of electrons, that is 18, but the maximum number can be accommodated, or the outermost shell can have only 8 electrons, not more than 8 electrons. So it can only complete its octet. So the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated by the outermost shell is 8. So the number of electrons can be accommodated by orbit. It can be 2, 8, 13, 2, 8, 18 and 32. But the maximum number of electron which is accommodated by an outermost shell is 8 only. Then next one is electrons. While filling, it always start filling with the inner shell. Only then it will enter into the outer shell. Electrons are not accommodated electrons are not accommodated in a given shell unless unless the inner shell are filled. Unless the inner shell are filled. Okay, so electrons inner shell are filled here. What does that mean? Means this is what this is filled with a stepwise manner. With a stepwise manner. What does that mean here? That suppose first of all electron will enter into the K shell. So it will complete its electronic configuration. After 2 electrons, no electrons can enter into the K shell. Then electrons will enter into the L shell. Okay, after entering the L shell, it can accommodate only 8. So yes, 8 electron will be there. Then it will start entering the M shell. Likewise, you have to go. It is never like that first of all electron will enter into the M and then L and then K. No, not like that. Always it is start with the shell which is having the less energy and which is the innermost. Actually, the innermost shell only having the less energy. So we can say that electrons always enter into the inner shell. When the inner shell is filled, then it will enter into the outermost shell. Okay. Now let us see some of the electronic configuration. And how electrons are distributed there. Now see here, if I'll talk about hydrogen. Hydrogen, this is the symbol of hydrogen, atomic number is 1. So electronic configuration will be only K, because only 1 electron is there, so it will enter into the K shell. So here it will be 1. What kind of a shell that we will going to form here, students? That is, the atomic structure will be this is the nucleus, and outside this nucleus there is a K shell which is having only 1 electron. Then if we talk about helium, helium is having atomic number 2. So it will enter, the 2 electrons will enter into the K shell. Now the structure will be, this is the nucleus, this is the K shell around it, and here it is having 2 electrons. So structure will be like that. Okay. Similarly, if we talk about boron. So boron is what? Atomic number is 5. That is 5. So how the electronic configuration will be there? Electronic distribution will occur. First of all, K shell. So out of this 5, 2 will enter into the K shell. It will become 2. Now how many electrons are left now? That is 3. So 3 electrons will enter into the L shell. So electronic configuration will be 2 and 3. And the same kind of a structure we will going to show you. It is what? It is nucleus. Around the nucleus there is an orbit which is of a K shell. One electron is here. One electron is here. This is the K shell. And outside this K shell, 1, 2 and 3. This is what? This is the L shell. Okay. So this is what? This is the atomic structure and electronic configuration of a boron. Let us see some more, like if we take example of oxygen. Oxygen, the atomic number of oxygen is 8. So its electronic configuration will be K. So out of this 8, 2 will enter into the K shell. It will be 2. How many are left now? 8 minus 2, that is 6. So 6 electrons will enter into the L shell. Now this is what? This is the nucleus. First of all, electrons will enter into the K shell. 2 electrons. Now rest of the 6 electrons will enter into the L shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. L shell. So this is what? This is the electronic distribution in case of a oxygen. Then we can take an example of a neon. In case of a neon, its atomic number is total 10. So electronic configuration K. So out of 10, 2 will enter into the K shell. It will become 2. Rest is 8. 8 electrons is left. 8 electrons will enter into the L shell. Atomic structure, nucleus, K shell, L shell. Okay. K shell is having 2 electrons. 1 and 2. It is having 8 electron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, so there are 8 electrons now. So this is up to the neon. What happened afterwards, students? Electron will start entering into the M shell. Taking example like that of the chlorine. Chlorine atomic number is 17. So 2 electrons will enter into the K shell. Now how many left? That is 15. Out of 15, only L will enter into the 8, because we know that maximum number of electrons accommodated by L shell, it will be 8 electron only. Then rest, how many left here? It's still 8 plus 2, 10. 10, 17 minus 10, that is 7. So 7 electrons are left here. So we will write here 7. So 7 is the electrons which is present in the outermost shell. What will be the structure here? So here it will be a nucleus. K shell is there. This K shell is having 2 electrons. L. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. These are the 8 electrons which is present in the L shell. Now how many electrons are there in the M shell? That is 7. So we can make here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the M shell. Okay. Similarly, we can take an example of a sulfur. In case of a sulfur, student, it is having the, how many electrons are there in case of a sulfur? Atomic number is 16. So, in the outermost shell, it will having only 6 electrons in it. 2, 8, 6. You can see 2 electrons will enter from this 16, then 8 will enter and rest will enter into the M shell. Now, the electronic configuration will be like this, where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons will be there in the outermost shell, while the electronic configuration will remain the same here. Let's take an example of argon. Argon is what, student? Here its atomic number is 18. Argon, its atomic number is 18. So out of 18, 2 will enter into the K shell, 8 will enter into the L shell, and rest of the 8 electron will enter into the M shell. Now it will be the atomic number, the shells are completely filled now, and this will be the atomic structure of a argon. Okay, so we have understood here up to 18. Now, what happened in case of a 19 and 20? So, let us take an example of a calcium and potassium. Potassium. Atomic number is 19. So, out of 19, 2 will enter into the K shell. So, now it becomes 17. Out of 17, 8 will enter into the L shell. Now, 9 electrons are left. So, M is having 8 electrons. Now, here a question arises that we know that K shell can accommodate 2 electrons, and that is why we have made it to enter, we have made 2 electrons only to enter in it, because it cannot accommodate more than 2 electrons. Similarly, in case of a L also, it can accommodate only 8 electrons. That's why I had written here 8. After 8, electrons will start entering into the M shell. M shell is having the accommodation of 18 electrons. But when we look at the configuration of potassium, after 8 electron, the electron starts entering into the next cell, that is M. Here, we must remember that while studying that of the Neal Bohr's of atom, we have seen that the outermost shell can only accommodate 8 electrons in it. But we know that a M shell can accommodate 18 electrons. So why it is not 9? Why it is not 9, student? Why it is 8, 1? Right? The question can be arises that why not it is a 9, even though we know that it can accommodate 18 electrons in it. What happened here? See, when the electrons, we have seen when we were talking in case of Neal Bohr's, we have seen here that every shell can accommodate only 8 electrons except K shell, because K shell can accommodate only 2 electrons. So it can accommodate only 2 electrons. Second thing, we have seen the third point, that electrons always starts entering from the shell, lowermost shell to the higher shell. It means the shell which is close to the nucleus, then to the higher orbits. Basically, why is it so? It is because the shell, like K shell is there, K shell is having less energy than L shell. Similarly, L shell is having less energy than M. And then M is having less energy than N. And electrons always starts entering from the lowest energy to the highest energy. Okay, so that is why it first enters into the K shell, then L shell, then M shell, and then N shell. Okay, so we can say here that electrons entering, it happens with the low energy orbit to the higher. What happened here? Here, when the electrons enter into the K shell, because K shell is what? It is having the low energy. Okay, when the K shell is fulfilled, then it will start entering into the L shell, which is having slightly higher energy than K shell, but yes, lower than that of the M shell. After completion of 8 electrons start entering into the M shell. When the electron starts entering into the M shell, one electrons will enter, 2 electrons will enter, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After 8 electrons, the energy of this M shell increases a lot. Okay, increases a lot. It means now as the 8 electrons get filled in that of a M shell, the M shell energy becomes even higher than that of the N shell. And due to which, now if suppose 8 electrons enter into the M shell, now its energy increases and it becomes more than that of the N shell. So what happened? N is having less energy than M. So electron, instead of entering into the M, it starts entering into the N. And it is because of that, after 8 electrons do not continue to enter into the M shell, but it starts filling the N shell. Okay. Okay. Now you can see here that since the energy of that of the M shell has increases a lot, so the electrons will going to continue to fill the M shell, but it will enter into the N shell. And it is because of that the electronic configuration of that of the potassium, which is represented by K. Let me write it here, otherwise you will be confused. So it is potassium. So its electronic configuration is 2881, not 289. So what will be the atomic structure? So atomic structure will be, first of all, a nucleus is there. Then around the nucleus there is a shell, which is a K shell. It is having 2 electrons in it. Then again another shell is there, which is a L shell. It is having 8 electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, 8 electrons are there. And then there is another shell is present around the L shell, and that is M shell. This M shell is having 8 electrons again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 8 electrons are there. And then again N shell is there. So we will make another shell, and this shell is of N shell, and it is having only 1 electron in it. Okay, so this is about that of the potassium. What happens in case of a calcium? In case of a calcium, students, its atomic number is 20. So similar pattern will be observed here. Calcium atomic number is 20. So how many electrons will be there in case of a N shell? It will be 2. Okay, now you can see here 2, 8, 8, 18, 18 plus 2, that is 20. So the outermost N shell will have 2 electrons. This is what, student, this is how the electronic configuration and this is how the atomic structure will be made with that of the different elements. Remember that whenever any of the element is given to you and electronic configuration has been asked, you have to write, if suppose question is asked that you have to make the atomic structure and show the energy level or energy shell with the help of a structure, then you will going to write the atomic number. First of all, you will going to write the electronic configuration and then you will make the differentials along with the nucleus and distribute the electrons into the different shell. This is how the electronic configuration or electron distribution has been occurred. Now, let us try to understand the outermost shell and that of the valence shell. You see, what is outermost shell? If we take an example of a calcium only, these all are the different shell, K, L, M, N. But which is the outermost? So, the outermost shell is this N shell. So, we can say here the shell which is at the last one is the outermost shell. You will say that since it is a KLMN, ma'am, so N it will be, obviously it will be the outermost shell. Let us take an example of a hydrogen. In case of a hydrogen, students, here atomic number is 1. Okay, so its electronic configuration will be K only. So the outermost shell will be the K only. What about in case of a carbon? Carbon is having electronic, it is having atomic number, that is 6, and its electronic configuration will be K and L. 2 electrons will enter into the K shell, while the rest of the 4 electrons will enter into the L shell. So the outermost shell will be the L shell only. We take an example of a magnesium. Magnesium atomic number is 12. So K, L and M. 2, 8, 2. So here the outermost shell, the last shell is the M shell and the last shell is only the outermost shell, and the outermost shell is having 2 electrons in it. So we can say, we can conclude by this that outermost shell is what? It is nothing but it is the last shell. In which electrons enter. Okay, so the last shell in which the electron enter into it, that is the outermost shell. There is a term and that is valence electron. What is a valence electron? The electrons which is present in the outermost shell is called as the valence electron. The electrons present in the outermost shell is called as valence electrons. Actually, outermost shell is also called as valence shell also. So the number of electrons present in the valence shell is the valence electron. So if last shell is having 1 electron, so the valence electron will be 1. If it is having 2 electrons, then the valence electron will be 2. If it is having 6, then valence electron will be 6. If it is having 8, maximum it can have only 8. So 8 will be the valence electron. Okay.